Hi folks, welcome to Excel Module 1. You can follow along in your book. You'll have to skip the PowerPoint chapter or the PowerPoint section and move to the green pages. As we go along with this module, there will be a start file that you can download that has all the numbers and text typed for you. If that'll make it a little bit easier, you can download that from Canvas and follow along with this lecture. So let's get started. Okay, I have opened a blank Excel spreadsheet, and let's take a quick look at the screen and the parts of an Excel spreadsheet or the Excel window. So first of all, each of these boxes on this spreadsheet these are each called cells, and each cell has a name based on the column it's in or the row that it's in. So columns go down, and they're named by letters, and rows go across. And then if I'm in a cell, I know the letter or the name of the cell by which column and which row it's in. So for instance, this one's B2, and you can see the name of the cell right up here in this area too. So other things, there's a zoom bar down here if you need to zoom in and out on your spreadsheet. There's a scroll box. You can have various sheets. Here is the first sheet, and the plus can add more sheets. And I think that about does it for the Excel window. So let's get started on the actual project. To select a cell, really, you just click on the cell. Pay attention to the cell name and click on it. To enter text into a cell, once you've selected it, you start typing. So in this case, in cell A1, we are going to type Fran Gold Real Estate Budget. Now notice as I'm typing, it looks like it's running into cell B1 and cell C1, but it's not really. It's just like running out of cell A1. And I can see also the entire text up here. Once I finish typing the words that I want to be in that cell, I hit my Enter key, and it will select the next cell, which is underneath of it. So A2, I want the word monthly estimate. I'm going to hit Enter. Income in A3, Enter. And then actually I'm going to come up and select B3. Another good thing to know is you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move around too, if that makes it easier for you. I'm going to type the rest of the information for this spreadsheet and post the file up on Canvas so that you can download it with everything already typed in, and we'll pick up from there. Okay, so here we go. Here is our spreadsheet with all the numbers and text labels typed in. So now we can start here. So if you have not downloaded this file from Canvas, pause this video, go get it so that you don't have to type all of these numbers, and then come back and join us. So starting on page EX120 in your paper version of your book, let's talk about how to calculate sums and use formulas. So we are going to start right here in cell B6 and use a formula to add these two cells together. So there are lots of different ways to create formulas. I like to say there's 5 different ways, but there's probably even more than that. But we're going to go over those as we progress through Excel. So we'll start with this one tonight, but if you know another way, it's fine to use another way to insert a formula if you want to do it differently. To do a quick sum, which is what this is called, on the Home tab, in the editing area, there is a button that's called Sum. And if you click on the drop-down box, you can see there's some basic, simple formulas that you can use. We are going to use the sum formula. So when I click on that, it automatically tries to detect which cells that I want to add together. In this case, cell B4 through B5. Notice how Excel represents the word through with the colons. The reason for this is that if I were to use a dash, what is often used when you are talking about like number 1 through 10, that actually is a minus sign in Excel world. So we use a colon. So this formula reads equals sum of B4 through B5. Also notice that our formula has an equal sign in front of it. All formulas have equal signs in front of them. Write that down. All right, so once I've hit that quick sum button, I can hit my enter key, and it will automatically total the value or the sum of the values in cell B4 through B5. So let's go down to cell B17 now, and let's do the same thing. So once again, you can insert a quick sum or a formula that uses sum quickly. First you click on the cell where you want the formula to go, then you go to the Home tab, Editing area, and click on the Sum button. It will automatically try and calculate the range you are trying to use, in this case B9 through B16, and you hit your Enter key, and it will accept the formula. So now let's take a look at some of the advantages of using Excel to be able to insert these formulas. One of which is that you can, once you've entered in one formula, you can fill the formula or copy the formula all the way across without having to retype it each time. So to do this, we have to use the fill handle. So the fill handle is what your cursor changes to when you hover over the bottom right-hand part of the cell that has the formula in it. So in this case, B6. You can see my cross turns to a skinny cross. When I'm in the middle of anything else, I have this big fat cross. That's select. I want the fill handle, which is the skinny cross. This is one of the hardest things that people learn when they're first starting with Excel. So now to copy this formula all the way across, I get the skinny cross, the fill handle, I hold my mouse button down, and then I drag the mouse all the way through M6, and I let go. Now Excel has filled that formula all the way across, and you can see different numbers in it because it's adding the different values in the cells above it. So if you look, as I click into the different cells, you can see how it has copied that formula all the way across. Let's do the same thing down here in cell B17. So first I select the cell that has the formula in it. Then I hover over the bottom right of the cell and get the fill handle. I hold my mouse button down and I drag across until I get to cell M17. Then I release and it copies the formulas all the way across. Now, if I look up here in this area in cell N4 through N6, these are all going to need some formulas in them. There's another, I could do them one at a time, so I could use the quick sum button here, and it would calculate that. That's one way to do it. But another thing you can do is you can select all three of those cells where you want the sum to go, and then you click the quick sum button, and it will fill them all the way across. You can double check by clicking in them and see. It's calculating B6 through M6. I can do the same thing down here too as well. I'll select all the cells where I want the formula to go, hit the quick sum button, and it quickly sums all of those rows. Now let's come down here to B19. So in B19, we are going to put a formula that subtracts the value in B6. Well, it's actually going to subtract the value in B17 from B6. So this formula we are going to type. So all formulas always start with an equal sign. So the first thing I'm going to do is type that equal sign, and then I'm going to type the name of the cell that I want to come first in my formula. In this case, B6. And then I type the minus sign, and then the next cell, B17. And as you see, as I do that, you can see the cells that are in this formula light up in colors, so I can tell which ones. I can double check myself and make sure I'm using the right cells. Once I've done that, I hit my enter key, and the formula is accepted, and it creates the calculation. And then if I hover over the bottom right, corner, get my fill handle, hold my mouse button down, and click and drag across, it will fill that formula all the way across. So I'm going to go ahead and save this project because I have added all the formulas in now and I don't want to lose it. So I'm hitting my quick save. You can also do File, Save As, or Save a Copy, depending upon whether or not, I think I have auto save on. So if I were to turn that off, I can use my Save As button. So same thing we've done in Word, saving files. I do recommend that you periodically hit that save button.